Ray ain't say nothing. Chris got a little happy weight on him. Michael had the reunions. They didn't have Wi-Fi. G gave a bunch of apologies. Is Dorothy single? Here we go again with that cardboard cutout. This needs to be brought up. Nothing will top the binder. This episode wasn't giving what it's supposed to give. This was calculated. That means you've been thinking about this. And I don't like that. Ladies, did your butt sag when you got pregnant? While Eddie's in trial, can he just skip this to go to a vow renewal? Tell the truth, shame the devil. Speaking of white men and penises, Chris. Nah, you knew what your BFF was doing. And then I started to get feared. I've never had a conversation with my mother-in-law about my finances. This little hoe's gonna come at a man no matter what, but your wife has. Y'all miss me, okay? What up, Real Housewives of Potomac family, and welcome back to From Rizzo with Love with me, your girl Rizzo. We are here with part 3 of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 6 reunion. Listen, I'm gonna tell you real loud and clear. This one didn't give me what it was supposed to give. The men were on for 0.2 seconds. I really feel like we could have done this in a 3-parter and not a 4. But I will say that the way that this episode ended with the stuff from Nikki and the jabs, the stabs, and the goes, I'm ready for the next part. Guys, if this is your first time here, welcome. Do check out some of my old recaps. We recap Married at First Sight, Real Housewives of Potomac. And I said I was going to do Insecure, but the way that everything is going with this house and home and everything in my life, I doubt I'm going to do it. But, you know, stick with me because we got more stuff coming. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this season, about the cast. We heard some drama about, like, Mia not coming back. I don't know how true that is, but she created a new Instagram page to get away from all the drama. I don't know. Even though this episode wasn't giving what it's supposed to give, let's get into it. Okay, naturally, we started off the episode with that dagger that Wendy dropped on Gizelle when she said, especially what kind of woman says that she needs plastic surgery to keep a man? You got a tummy tuck. Did you keep Jamal? I said, okay, all right. We jumped right back into it. And Gizelle's response was, I didn't get a tummy tuck for Jamal. I got a tummy tuck because I had twins. And Wendy's response, rightfully so, was I got my breast done because I had 3 children. And somebody said, did you get your butt done for 3 kids? And she said, yes. And then I started to get feared. Because I said, you know what? I've heard your body changes. Not only do your titties fall, not only is the skin on your stomach saggy, not only do your feet get bigger, but your butt droops. And now I'm even more scared than I was before. Ladies, did your butt sag when you got pregnant? Tell the truth, shame the devil. Okay, let's go. All right, before we even get into the Robin thing, because I'm glad that we did address that, or Andy addressed that moment here, because Wendy and Robin were friends in past seasons. So this came as a shock for everyone, I think. But before we even get into that, I will tell you, I wasn't here for Gizelle and Ashley's. We were concerned. Like, no, sis, y'all are trying to clean it up now. And just as Wendy said, this was calculated, okay? This was calculated. Y'all knew exactly what you were doing. You were not concerned for her in social media. Get out of here. And I love that Eddie came in and he was like, this situation was brought up in a way that had no concern for my children. Because how many times did Gizelle get on these other women, especially Karen, and say like, y'all are doing this and you're embarrassing my children because this is their father and you are doing this in front of them. Wendy's got 3 children who are going to see this air about their father. And Gizelle's response was, well, I would think that they would want somebody to say, no, that's not my dad. Like, y'all miss me, okay? Please. Now, getting into the Robin and Wendy situation and the reason for that, I don't understand why Wendy went so hard on Robin. Or let me say, I didn't understand until this reunion. Because like I said, Wendy and Robin were friends last season. They bonded on raising 2 young boys together. So I really liked them last year. So to see her go in like this was like, where did this come from? Same way I'm like, where did this come from that she's not friends with Candace? But whatever. And if they were friends before, why did Wendy go so hard on Robin? And that's what I don't like, because if you're my friend and you're so quick to say this stuff and this rolls off your tongue just so naturally, it makes me question what our friendship was before, because that means you've been thinking about this. And I don't like that. But here's what I will say. I am on Robin's side here, because Robin and Wendy, based on the cardboard cutout that we got, here we go again with that cardboard cutout. Okay. Based on the cardboard cutout, we see that Robin and Wendy already had a conversation about this. So when a rumor is being brought up about Eddie, Robin is genuinely asking, oh, what is this rumor about? Because she's like, it can't be this because there's no validity to this rumor. Like, why would somebody bring it up? So what is the rumor about? But Wendy went right in on her. So I understand Robin being like, where the f is this coming from? But I also understand Wendy being like, nah, you knew what your BFF was doing. Because Robin and Gizelle are always in cahoots. They always know what the other's talking about. So Wendy was like, nah, you put me up to this. I don't believe that. You know what's going on. And this is trying to be an ambush to make me and my husband look bad. So I get it on both of their sides, right? I understand why Robin was like, what the hell? And was genuinely asking the question. But I also understand how Wendy was like, nah, this is trying to be an ambush. You know what's going on. But two things I don't f with. One, the receipts. Nothing will top the binder. You really went to Kinko's and you printed that out. You printed out the messages between you and Gizelle to show that y'all aren't friends, which actually I think the phone messages was a real thing because she's like, you called me once. I don't believe that y'all had a conversation, but whatever. But the other thing is, like I said, I don't like how quick you turn from being my friend to being my enemy and having these things in your back pocket. That I'm not turning from. But speaking of Robin, I did like the moment that we had with Robin here. We started talking about, you know, Juan getting upset at her for bringing up the past of him not being around to raise Carter and I was gonna say Cruz, but I'm not Carter and Corey when they were younger, and Robin bringing that up and Juan getting upset over that because it was like 13 years ago. Yes, and I do see that. And she was like, yo, he drove right back, so it's whatever. But you know what I love most? Is that Robin said, I'm not going to stop bringing that up. And it's not, I'm not going to stop bringing up the fact that you cheated, but I'm not going to stop bringing up the fact that I need you around more. I need you to know what it takes to raise a child. So if at the age of 42 and 43, we bring a new infant here, I need you around. So I love that she saw him get upset, but she wasn't like, I'm gonna do anything just to make you happy now and I'm not gonna bring it up anymore. And she was like, no, this needs to be brought up because I'm gonna need support when this baby is around. Now, on the other side, she was supporting Juan for not being there. Because, you know, Michael had the reunions again. Juan wasn't there. Whose other husband wasn't there? We only had Chris. Oh, and the luggage, I guess, wasn't there. But we were really missing that side of the couches. There was only one husband on that side. I don't know why Michael don't want to be here for real. I don't think he planned to be there last year, but I think this year he actually may be sick. But then she started going at Wendy, or really Wendy was going at her after she said this, but she was just like, no, I'm not worried or afraid or sad that Juan is not around because he has a job as a coach. And I understand any woman, any partner, anyone who has dated somebody who is a coach, we sacrifice our personal lives for their career. So Robin was like, look, I know that he's not always going to be around and I'm okay with that. But Wendy was like, oh, he's not an entrepreneur. Well, my husband is an entrepreneur too, and he has his own job as a lawyer and he decides to take off. No, Wendy, that's different. Eddie is a lawyer, right? That's like saying, oh, while Eddie's in trial, can he just skip this to go to a vow renewal? No, the same way Juan cannot just skip going a game during the season to come to an event for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, no, that's not the same. But Robin, if you're sitting here talking about, oh, he needs to be around on 1 second when you have the baby, but then you justify him not being around because he's a coach, which one is it? Are you going to be on him when you have that baby and he can't be around? Okay, just know what you're signing up for. Also, I will say it was very interesting how none of the women thought that she was going to be getting married next year. But this episode was really about the man who got about 0.5 seconds. I was going to say 0.4. God knew what it was. 0.4 seconds because Ray ain't saying nothing. G gave a bunch of apologies and he was being very like, oh, I own the joint chiropractic, so I got to stop being an ass on TV vibes. He apologized to Ashley and Ashley was like, oh, I don't even know how to take an apology in this group. That was very mature of you. I was ready to argue. Eddie came in his full white looking very Nigerian, not like Idris Elba at all. Wendy definitely dressed him. And of course, Chris came with his drink, repping his wife. We aren't mad at that. Also, Chris got a little happy weight on him too. Okay. Let's have the conversation about men wearing their rings and not wearing their rings. I don't know how I feel about that because I think that is a lie from the pits of hell that people are like, oh, I'm not going to wear my ring because that's when women come at you more. No, these little hoes going to come at a man no matter what. But A regular schmegular woman, when they see a man with a ring on, they're going to be like, okay, he's taken, so I won't even approach you. So don't give me that. And it's funny how most of the guys who have had infidelities on the show are the ones talking about they're not wearing their rings. I'm also glad we got to talk about Ashley and G, because I have no idea why Ashley was so upset with him. As a certain someone said towards the end, Ashley really had no storyline. She was trying to make drama from other things. And I like Ashley. It's just, what was your thing this season, Ashley? And please, let's not have it be you arguing with Candace again. That's Candace's storyline for you. So let's pick something else, Ashley. Hopefully it's not Michael cheating again, but we need something, because this you upset at G for being funny and talking about, oh, he's overtly sexual with the other women, but my husband has never done that. Your husband said he wanted to the dick of someone else's husband on the show. What do you mean? He tried to take his pants off on the boat. What do you mean? He squeezed multiple men, allegedly, but as jokes on the cast and crew. What are you talking about? But speaking of white men and penises, Chris, I felt bad for him this episode because Dorothy is really playing this man. And somebody needs to let Dorothy and her single behind know. Actually, I don't know. Is Dorothy single? I think Dorothy got a new man. Even though she's still stuck on her ex-husband and so mad at him. But why is she so mad at Chris? I love that Chris cleared his name up a little bit. Like, yo, I'm not broke. Y'all thought I was living in this woman's house and she was paying for my rent. No, I wasn't going to pay this mortgage of something that my wife and her mom wanted to use as an investment property. I had a house of my own. I was paying my mortgage and I was paying my girlfriend's rent. I'm not broke, and y'all need to quit that narrative of me living off my wife. Good for you, Chris. Put the drink down, though. That little, like, oh, this is my thing. I drink a lot, and, like, I'm so cool. We don't need that, okay? Also, I know we were all thinking this when Chris was like, I've never had a conversation with my mother-in-law about my finances. Everyone at home said, but your wife has. And our guy Ray had no commentary. I really did love how he was talking about how he thinks that Karen should push her brand forth a little more. She has this platform. She can do so much, because that contrast from before when we were hearing that Ray was like not that into Karen being the breadwinner anymore, or like having her own business and not being just his wife. Remember, he married this woman as a trophy wife because he was the money maker in the family. He wanted her to cook, clean, have his coffee, and do all of this. So I remember last season, or maybe 2 seasons ago, he wanted her to still be at home and not forget her wifely role. So to hear him say in this episode that he was happy for her and he wanted to push her brand forth and he felt that she could do so much more, it made us feel good for him and for Karen, who also bought Wi-Fi to Surrey County. Y'all, this is really a rural little community. They didn't have Wi-Fi. It is 2021. They about to have a bed and breakfast. You know, it's because I told you that we were going to make a trip out to Surrey County. You know, Karen used this, sent it to Surrey, and said, you know what, we need a bed and breakfast for her and all her followers. We still going though, right? But y'all, the way that we ended this episode, why do my eyes look like this? It's just gonna be like this. Okay, there we go. But guys, the way that we ended this episode, Miss Nicki Minaj came in. I will tell you, I loved how nervous Nicki was. Backstage when she met Andy, when she was looking at her cards, she was trying to like be the Nicki Minaj, but she was really like, oh my God, I don't know how to host this. But she came in hot. She said, actually, you ain't have no storyline. Why were you Gizelle's minion? And then we saw previews for the next one, for part 4, where Nicki was like, well, Candace, you use auto-tune. And they wanted her to sing. I will say, I'm going to talk about this next week, but I will say, in Candace's defense, I don't like to be put to the test either. It's like, oh, I'm a comedian. Ooh, tell me a joke. Like, no, I'm not a jester. Like, be quiet. I don't have to sit here and sing for you. But I will say, Candace, you are a new artist. People are questioning your singing skills. You know, you can shut that down. You can sing live on television with no auto-tune. In front of Miss Nicki Minaj. You could be missing an opportunity here. Or you can be ruining your singing career from here on out. Totally up to you. All right, guys. Stay tuned for next week where we have part 4. It's the finale. I'm trying to see what Nicki Minaj is going to say. I know she's going to give everyone something. Apparently, she's going to go in on Mia as well. Can't wait for it. If you guys do not want to miss it, make sure you subscribe and hit the last one for the season. I'm super excited to close this out. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, guys. Tell your friends, tell everyone as we prepare for next season and as we close out Married at First Sight as well. All right, guys, I will catch you next week. And please remember that everything that I have said has been from Rizzo with love. Thanks, guys. Make sure you subscribe.